on-chain. On-chain revolution, Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps and I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Ordinals the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge, look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on this channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing founder interview for you guys today. It's been a while since we did a founder of the interview, but today we have the amazing Shaz from Tokeo Wallet. Tokeo, these guys are building some pretty amazing things there. They just did this blitz, right? If you don't know what it is, you weren't really paying attention in the space the last 2 weeks, because these guys did about 16 spaces. We helped them out with the streams, and then we helped them out with the later in the day we did the Twitter spaces, which is always fun. It was really amazing. We had a lot of builders. It feels like it was close to 30 builders, and that type of involvement in the ecosystem already at such a young part in Tokyo's journey into the Bitcoin ecosystem was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun. It was so exciting, guys, and I'm really excited to kind of learn more about Tokeo and learn more about Shaz. Shaz is absolutely awesome. We've been talking to him for a long time now. It seems like a couple months, and it's been a really awesome experience, and now we get to kind of learn about him. So without further ado, let's bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's
up, man? So what was your blitz experience like, and how do you feel about Tokyo after this?
Yeah, dude, I played football growing up in high school, so I know what a blitz feels like, and that was a blitz, but it wasn't a blitz to like smash people in the Bitcoin ecosystem. It was a blitz to say, hey, let's all learn together, let's get acquainted. And I think that's the way that new builders should really introduce themselves into new ecosystems, right? Is because they actually care to take that extra step. It might be some more work, but that's what it's worth, right? Putting more work into getting acquainted with the builder ecosystem and the actual Bitcoin ecosystem community, I think it's worth it, because it's all about trust. As you know, we've been covering the space since early 2023. And a really cool thing that we learned as we got to get acquainted with Guido and Shaz the past couple weeks is that, hey, Shaz was kind of one of us during those times, right? He's busy with building Tokyo, but hey, he's a DJ at heart, and so he was getting ordinals and doing the stuff that we were doing, and so it was really cool to learn that, because it's not just like he came in here fresh without any knowledge or anything like that. So I'm excited to really dive into Shaz and really learn about what his experience has been previous to crypto, and then kind of leading up to where we are today. So excited for this one.
Yeah, and I love what Tokyo's doing right now. That they didn't come during like the hype cycle, right? They came during a year-long bear market. They're not here to like take from the ecosystem. They're here to build here, and that's one thing. What's one big takeaway I've taken away from Tokyo, especially in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's people look at ordinals right now as like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you talking about those things? They're trash, because of the fact that, I mean, it's been a year-long bear market. But people don't understand when you really dig into what ordinals and what this Bitcoin ecosystem is going to be in the future. It's not about what it is today. It's about what it's going to be. And Tokyo sees that. And I think that's one thing that's awesome about that.
Yeah, for sure. Excited, man. And things are starting to heat up in the space. So, I feel like they came when it was still, whispers and not too much hype, which you can even say that was just like a month ago, right? Or even 2-3 weeks ago. But now with some, recent announcements and stuff like that, I guess their conviction is already paying off, I think, right? So excited to really jump into this.
Yep, let's get right into it. Let's bring up Shaz. Hey, Shaz, welcome to OnChain Revolution.
Hey. I've been here a bit, haven't I, lately? But
for sure. It's like we just saw you yesterday, right? But yeah, we're excited to get you in this episode because as I mentioned in the intro, talking to Shizzy, trust is such a big deal in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and you guys knew that from the jump. You showed your faces. You were a part of our live streams with the Blitz. You got acquainted with the builders and everything. But we'd like to kind of hear, if you don't mind, going into maybe some of your pre-crypto experience leading up to how you found Bitcoin and where we are today, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I kind of got into crypto back in 2019. Started off with a bit of BTC, a bit of ETH, a little bit of. I did have some Terra at some point as well. Some good things, some not so good things. A bit of Ada, a little bit of Soul later on. So kind of started off like that. So that was essentially, my first intro into Bitcoin as well, in particular. Well, you've been hearing about it forever. I actually had two friends who paid for not pizzas, but a few burgers in Australia with 1.5 BTC back in
Oh my gosh.
2013 or 14. So this was the first time that I'd heard of it. They were, of course, connoisseurs of great tastes on websites that used to use BTC back in the day. If you know, you know. Unfortunately, those websites didn't last for them, but also they ended up, fumbling some pretty massive wealth. But that was my first intro into Bitcoin, and obviously got into it, 5, 6 years later. And I have been around since, as a trader on multiple chains, as a builder, predominantly on the Cardano side of things, and then now have been expanding out and really, you know, enjoying taking Tokyo or bringing Tokyo over to Bitcoin. It's been a lot of fun. There's obviously a lot of work in store for us, but we love a good challenge, and kind of seeing a lot of the response so far has been great. So I'm really, really pumped for what's going to come up.
Those better been some really tasty burgers, is all I got to say, because they were very pricey. Couple
Yeah.
burgers for 1.5 Bitcoin. Yeah, but you mentioned kind of your journey, which I appreciate, and I feel like a lot of us has gone through. You mentioned Terra Luna, so we've had our lessons through our journey, right? And you came over, you started building on Cardano, and you've worked your way over to the Bitcoin ecosystem. And we know that Tokyo's focus is multi-chain. But I'd love for you to maybe kind of give a little bit of your experience of what that was like when you came over here. How were the builders? Were they welcoming? What was the community like? Yeah, I would love to hear some of that experience from you.
Yeah, look, I think it's been fantastic. Great builders, great community. I've obviously been involved myself in the past, as you kind of mentioned. I've traded runes for a while. I got my dog airdrop back in the day. I hold some Billy. I hold a couple of rugs. I think I have an OMB as well on the ordinal side. So I've been around. I have to go back and check my wallet at some point, but I definitely have
True
an
DGen.
OMB.
True DGen. If you got to go
Yeah.
check your wallet.
Exactly. So I have. What were those? For the life of me, I can't remember. They were like these little. It was like they were those.
The cube.
It was like an acronym, RS something.
RSIC.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
RSIC. Yeah, that's the one. So I've got a few things. I have to remember and check actually. So, I've been in the space here and there. Unfortunately, I didn't get any puppets. I didn't get any quantum cats. I missed out on some of the good stuff. that's been fun. But hey, that's a part of it. I know frogs. I think maybe check. I remember being a part of that. Did I end up minting or not? It's been a while. I've had like a kid since then, and things have changed.
That'll do it to you for sure.
Yeah, but look, it's a great ecosystem. People are awesome. I met a whole bunch of people in Dubai from the ecosystem. We've obviously been working closely with you guys, with Sats Terminal, with Cha-Ching. We're talking to Babylon at the moment about some stuff with them. The guys over from OmniSats and Laser Eyes, obviously they have that wallet integration thing, so that's going to go live soon. A whole bunch of other projects that I've hung out with, stable coins, bridges, L2s, So I think it's great. I think there are some parallels and some commonalities with the Cardano ecosystem. However, I think there's also some, I think the very interesting thing and the unique thing about Bitcoin is that you've got pockets. And, we've had this conversation before as well. You've got like hardcore OGs who have a purist take on it, who I've also interacted with. And you've got people who want to build on it. You've got people doing, incredible things that you would never think is possible on Bitcoin. Like we did a stream with the guys doing gaming on Bitcoin, right? So it's definitely, I think every builder in crypto is a little bit crazy. I think builders on Bitcoin, we might be a little crazier because, you can almost argue that we're trying to do things that were not meant to be done. But that's a challenge in itself. And, now there are avenues and opportunities and things that are moving. So I'm pretty pumped. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited. I'm loving building on Bitcoin. I'm loving engaging. It's a shame that I won't be in Vegas, but obviously Guido and one more of our team members, Chase, they'll be there at Bitcoin Vegas. So that's going to be exciting. I know that they're keen to catch up with everybody.
Yeah, man, 100%. Yeah. I kind of want to go backwards though. I want to learn about Tokyo from the early days. Can you take us back to maybe this before it was on Cardano, before it was an idea, and kind of walk us through maybe what was the idea behind Tokyo, and kind of get into what it is today.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So here's kind of the story. Guido and Magic had essentially built and started off an NFT marketplace on Cardano, and that was the product that they were building. And Magic's probably one of the oldest crypto holders that I know personally. He's been around for a long time in crypto, but he's neither of them are quote unquote, well, yeah, neither of them are degens, so they weren't too well versed in the ecosystem and with the product, and it was a great product. So I'd actually come on because I used to advise a bunch of projects, kind of marketing, business development, some of the strategic operational stuff, growth hacking, all of that jazz. So I came on and was helping them out with the marketplace, but very shortly into it, even though they were able to get some traction, NFTs just started tanking, right? So it was kind of like, well, why are you spending so much money building a product that's never going to generate any revenue for you, and probably you're probably not even going to raise any money with regards to this marketplace. So talked about like pivoting. Magic locked himself up for like 6 weeks and came up with this whole concept of like a crazy wallet, because he was simply not very happy with any of the experiences available, right? And especially for him as someone who's built very, very large scale consumer apps, built and sold or apps or exited app related companies in the past. He's very particular and nitpicky about how he understands what a lot of this stuff should look like and what attracts customers and what brings in users. So that's where the idea around Tokyo was born as well. And the guys were kind of like, well, mate, like jump on with us as like a founder, right? Let's do this together. And that was 23 December 2023. So that all of this happened, and we kind of started proper development in Jan 24, launching in July, August. So it was a passion. It was something that we were super passionate about. Building a good product, something that we believe in. We all agreed with the ethos and the narrative and the thought process, and especially now it's kind of being validated because wallets are upping their game.
Yeah.
It's no more just about swap and send and receive and hold your assets non-custodially. There has to be more stuff on there. And you guys are one of like a couple of like 15 beta testers that we have who get access to like the latest stuff in the app. And I think that with some of the new releases over the coming weeks, it's gonna completely or significantly shift what Tokyo looks like and the things that it offers. And that was a big part of what we wanted to do from the very get-go, right? You need a bit of
Yeah.
familiarity. So you need something that people understand, but then you need to start building on top of it in a way that it becomes, more accessible, but at the same time provides more features, or rather, yeah, provides more features in an accessible manner. So that's kind of what we set out to do, and that's kind of really where we're pushing towards now.
What was that conversation like when Magic, they had the NFT platform, right? And Magic came to you guys and said, guys, I spent the last 6 weeks locked in my room figuring out this wallet thing. What was that conversation like for you guys? Was it eye-opening?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've been bouncing off, like bouncing ideas off each other, right? Where is it, different people had different perspectives on like, did we want to do something completely radical, bring something new into the industry? Did we think that there was room for that per se? Did we want to do something, because obviously we'd been building on Cardano at that time. We're like, do we want to bring something over that isn't or hadn't been available as a DApp or some DeFi product on Cardano? But honestly, we just thought that overall the wallet experience was lagging, and we did or we have significantly pushed things forward because suddenly the whole Cardano wallet ecosystem had woken up, and they were like, oh no, these guys are talking about multi-chain, we need to go multi-chain. They were like, oh, they're talking about UI and UX and design and customization, and so we need to work on that. I think since we launched, we started integrating things like risk ratings and stuff like that. We integrated risk ratings, then 4 other wallets integrated risk ratings. We delivered like themes and customization in the app. Now 2 other wallets have or one is now looking to enable customization and stuff like that, and working with other projects and etc. So that sort of stuff. But our vision was almost always so much more beyond that, and I think that's where Simon or Magic was thinking about it. Like, well, why can't a wallet be the fundamental? It is already kind of the first place you go to after you move your crypto out of a centralized exchange for the first time, right? You go to a wallet, because where else are you going to keep it, right? Usually people who are trading on centralized exchanges, often they might go, okay, from a KYC one to a one that doesn't require a KYC, and then they will move over to like a wallet, so a self-custodial wallet. And for us it was always like, Well, why are the experiences so bad? Why do I have to keep going to certain dApps to do certain things through the wallet? Why can I not just go, well, this is the wallet and enables me to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but also is sexy while I do it, right? And that's the most important part. What I mean by that is it's not flashy, but it's easy enough for you to use and so smooth and nice that it makes you go, I want to keep using this, right? And that's an interesting thing with Tokyo. Like if you go look at the metrics, 1 in 3 people who download the wallet continue to use it daily. Like our stickiness rate is 33%. That's very, very
Good.
high. And that's kind of testament to what the devs and Magic and everyone has kind of, worked on. So, yeah, I love it. I think it was an awesome call by him. We all kind of bonded over the fact that, there were these limitations and we're out here to, well, we are changing that. And that's why we are getting traction. And, there's still a lot of work to be done. I think that the path ahead is not easy. We could have gone for, I don't know, something completely unique, but we went into a market that's, to some extent saturated, but you can carve a path out of it just because the experiences need to improve.
Yep, I agree with that 1000%. And it definitely doesn't hurt that the lead developer has that experience in the app market, right? And has had success there. And I think that's probably what attributes a lot of the kind of UI friendly interface that Tokyo has. We've been hearing a lot in the kind of crypto Twitter posts, I guess, about like wallets being the new bank accounts. Is that how Tokyo also views it, or do you guys see it a little differently?
Yes and no. I think there needs to be an element of a bank account, but I almost think that wallets need to start becoming super apps, because even till today, you need to connect your wallet here, connect your wallet there. Different blockchain do different things, but if we're talking about users coming into crypto and doing whatever they want, whether that's something on the side of culture and things like music and film and art, right? So really going for that IP stuff that a lot of people do. I have to go to something like Abstract, the blockchain, to experience that with like the IP stuff from the Pudgy team, which is incredible. But then if I want to go to like hardcore meme stuff, it's been Solana for the longest time, and that's where I'm going to make all the money. If I want to go into the purity stuff, I'm then going over to Bitcoin and I'm figuring out, well, how do I make yield on my Bitcoin? Right. And then if I'm talking about like, current momentum, and then I have to go to Sui. So it's like, I need a wallet there. I need a wallet there. I need to then connect to dApps there. And I need to do that over, like, why can't these interfaces enable me to do more? And the biggest example of this over the past couple of months has been MetaMask, who have suddenly gone, hold on a second, we need to shift things because like we're kind of falling behind, right? So they've announced like Bitcoin integration, I believe. They've announced Sui integration, with like swaps and things like that. They're launching their physical MasterCard. They're doing some custom colors and things like that. And I'm like, well, it's I think we've come in at the right time because we've been thinking about this from when we launched. And I take it a step further, right? If you go into like our explore page, you already see trending sites. So what websites are other people on the app clicking or connecting to? What tokens are they swapping? What are the tokens that are most popular? If I want to trade, I'm a trader guy there. If I want to, with our upcoming like MasterCard integration, if I actually want to use my crypto just to convert it to fiat to do some shopping, well, that option's there. If I just want to go in and do some stuff that AI enables me to improve on in terms of what I'm doing in crypto. Well, we're cooking some stuff on that front, which will be coming through very, very soon. So it's, and then, like insights, you can go into the app right now, and whenever OnChain Revolution drops a video, it actually shows up in the explore page right at the top until like some of the other feeds and creators, their videos show up. So you're getting that whole experience, and it's not about saying, well, I'm going to compete with a YouTube, or I'm going to compete with an X, or I'm going to compete with a DEX, or I'm going to compete with, a lending or borrowing protocol. It's more about showcase all of it through there. How do the big super apps, how does something like, how do some of the big super apps around the world work, right? I'll give you an example because I've been in Dubai. You look at Kareem, which is their car app. It's actually owned by Uber. So you have Uber and Kareem. But then Kareem has now become like a super app. So you've got rides, but you can also order food. You can also get like pickup and delivery of laundry. You can get physical like electronics and items. You can also use it like to get tasks done in your house. You can also use it to like hire domestic help. So it's got all of this stuff, but are they managing all the logistics? Are they on their own? Are they managing all the customer service? No, they're integrating with someone who already does this. But I get all of it through that one interface, right? And that's where our vision always has been with Tokeo. And I think a lot of wallets are starting to think like that. It's no longer just about send, receive, and store, and maybe a little bit of swapping, right? It's got to be much bigger than that. And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of people that had, in the US, like Elon Musk, that has worked in China a lot and said, hey, look, in terms of convenience with apps, they are ahead of the US and in the Western world with WeChat. And that reminds me of that approach, that strategy with WeChat. You can do all these things, pay, be social, stream, whatever they do. But it's about convenience. And I think you guys are definitely you guys have the right approach to that, because you said the market for wallets is saturated, which I believe there are a lot of players, but we're in this innovation period with crypto that it's the race is still on, and we see that with MetaMask and so I think Tokyo has a really good shot here because you guys are ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I love the China example, Nate. I was in Shanghai at the start of the year just on holiday, right? I took my family there, and some of the things, all the apps are interconnected. So if I am paying with Alipay, it's actually linked directly to my Didi, which is their Uber equivalent, which is also integrated through, and then both of these are separately integrated through WeChat. So on WeChat, I'm chatting, but then I can also just use Didi, I can use Alipay, I can use the food app, and all of it's coming through that one single source. Now, with people in crypto, what is the most complicated thing? It's like just getting your seed phrase in, right? Like, man, this sounds scary. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, that's such a big barrier to entry. Look at how difficult it's been. Like, people are starting to get it now, but how long has have authenticators like 2FA been around, right? I mean, I've been using it since like 2020 at least. But it's only now that I kind of see it becoming a common thing where your company is enforcing you to do it or something of that sort. People are like, well, I need to do this as a second um, authentication mechanism. But people are scared because they're like, whoa, there are these random numbers that are showing up that I have to write and save on the side. Seed phrases are the same. So rather than going, hey, put your seed phrase in and everything's going to be good and you that's it, you're good to go, you kind of go, well, make your wallet, and then we'll remind you to make your seed phrase. Like that becomes kind of the way to do it. So that's where we're kind of at with a lot of that thinking as well, like a user persona, a new person coming in, and for an old person, well, they already know, like someone who's already in crypto. Okay, I've got to save the seed phrase. So that's one other example.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome for sure. So being Tokyo wallet, right? So right now you guys are going multi-chain. You guys want to trying to add like a whole bunch of chain. Just added Bitcoin recently, and they guys have a huge update coming soon. But like, so my question to you, being someone who's in marketing, how do we bring people on chain? How do we bring people off of Coinbase, off of Binance, off of OKX, and actually on chain?
Look, I think it's a this is of course the $1 billion question, right? How do you bring Bitcoiners who hold Bitcoin to come and start using DeFi? Well, what is their biggest concern, right? What is their biggest concern? How do I generate yield on this asset that I'm holding? Make good products, make them accessible, and market them to the right people. So if you've got family trusts and hedge funds and institutions that are holding this crypto, show them the solutions, make it easy enough for them to use, and work with them to bring it to a wider user base, right? That's a very high macro level of how I see it. But I think just from a direct B2C point of view, I love the example of Polymarket, right? Sure, it was only really super relevant during the US presidential election, like it's kind of died down. But I'll give you another example, right? I met someone not too long ago, and they had an app. They had a sort of a wallet, I guess, because wallets can be many things. They're not just like the Tokyos and the Phantoms and things like that. Wallets can be far more niche products as well. So he had a wallet, which essentially allowed you to on and off ramp using the Polygon ecosystem. And their only focus was to target diaspora communities of certain countries in the US, get them to send their remittance, right? Using the blockchain to avoid having to go through like a central entity. Yeah. So you send your USD, you like one click, your USD becomes USDC. And then on the app, your family member back home clicks receive, and that USDC becomes fiat. And they got acquired by like a really, really large business, like a really, really large Web3 company. But you made it so seamless, so simple, that people didn't care that it was USDC. They just knew, I have to put in the amount and click a button, and it gets there. So it's about those solutions, right? When we talk about something like, and I'm going completely off of Tokyo here, but like you talk about something like real world tokenization, right? We know that if you could tokenize assets IRL, it would make everything transparent, and there would be avenues for more people to make money off it. But can most of these businesses simplify it so much that the average user doesn't need to know any of the technical jargon, any of the technical aspects of it? And in most cases with crypto products, that's a no, right? When I go to someone and they're like, what do you do? I'm like, I have a crypto wallet, and they're not in crypto. They're like, what the heck is that? Literally.
So true.
And it's like, well, you hold your money in your bank. You can hold your crypto in a crypto.com, a Coinbase, or a Binance. People usually know one of those three, right? Or you can take your crypto and hold it yourself, and wear like the front facing interface of all of that. And then they kind of go, okay, I kind of get that. That makes sense. Yeah, like that makes a little bit more sense to me. And It's like, now how can you simplify all of that stuff on a much larger scale, right? This is like this, we would think the simplest of things, wallets, people come to wallets and they use them. So everyone says the same thing, which is this. And I think that as we get more adoption, people talk about Bitcoin, people talk about other aspects of crypto, when it becomes simple enough for people to use without them even knowing that the tech behind it, like Polymarket, like that, that on and off ramping wallet, um, that's where it happens. How many of those products exist in crypto? Let's be honest, right? Not many.
Yeah, not many at all. And I think that's been the biggest kind of blockade of mass adoption. But Tokyo is a prime example that that's changing, and some of this is changing. I think a lot of it's changing also because of regulation being eased up in the U.S. towards crypto and being friendly. We have the on ramps with payments and stuff now with big brands that people can trust. But I think everything you said is very true. For me, like a simple answer would be experiences, right? Experiences that you give people that they don't have to think too much, like you just mentioned. And one point I'd love to make is you're like, how do we get the Bitcoin fundamentalists to kind of ease up and say, hey, I want to participate too? And I think that comes down to experiences as well, because if you have great experiences for consumers on the large scale, then that overpowers the Bitcoin fundamentalists, because one by one they will start to join the party. But yeah, I love what Tokyo is doing, and you guys have this mindset that I think is for the future, and your app is really geared towards this younger generation, but still, the millennial generation still, sleek enough to be able to like it as well. So my question is, what's next for Tokyo? What's the big next step?
Yeah, look, we have a bunch of features that we will be releasing specific to Bitcoin in the coming months as well. But obviously, people have seen it and heard me talking about expanding to another blockchain. That's a big part of it. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. Followed by that, there are a few things that we're doing. We've obviously got the token and the rewards engine around that. So that's probably the next big focus once the chain release occurs, and the expansion of the ecosystem, like as a part of Tokyo. That's going to be a very big play. So users being able to generate or claim those rewards, and then eventually being able to use the app to earn rewards as well, and to do a combination to expand that out. Then there are some features that we fundamentally think need to be in the app very, very quickly, particularly three. Hardware wallet integration. That's one of the paramount things. Second is, we have Coinbase Pay on and off ramping, but we're working closely with Mercurial, who we also have a deal with on MasterCard. So that's already in the works. So that will come out. So you'll have on and off ramping, I think, for 160 countries. And MasterCard will start out with EU, followed by the US very quickly, and then the rest of the world. So you guys will be using it before I do. So that should be, yeah, so that should be cool. So those are two things. And then I believe the third, just from the top of my head, I was saying, what did I say? So hardware wallets, on and off ramping, and the chain expansion, and then the toke rewards. These are kind of the very near term goals of Tokyo. But we'll start kicking off a lot of campaigns for users to start really using the wallet. Things like cashback on certain chains, covering gas fees, on certain chains again, because if you were doing that on Bitcoin or Cardano, it could end up being very, very hefty. But who knows, right? If the situation is beneficial to us. We are looking into that sort of stuff as well. So there's a bunch of stuff that we have coming out, starting with that third chain expansion. And I've already said it. And if someone watching hasn't heard it, tune back into the Bitcoin Blitz, where both Ito and I have talked about it multiple times, so you can sift through the videos to find where it's at.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited for the hardware integration. I think that would be absolutely awesome, where I can take my ordinals and runes and stuff like that, and actually feel safe, right? Having that, maybe, I don't know what your idea it is, but like I would love that card with the wallet kind of feature that some wallets have. It'd be really cool with Tokyo. My final question for you is: let's just say Tokyo is successful 2 years down the line. What does that success look like to you?
Yeah, great question, mate. And just before that, I remembered what the third point was, which we're also already working on, which is the desktop version of Tokyo. So that's already, like, we've been
That's
working on
not
that already.
looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. So that's another thing we have coming up. But um, regarding your question, look, my genuine belief is that Tokyo doesn't want to be the biggest wallet on any chain, right? That's not our focus. Our focus is to enable people to go from one chain to another and back, and try out different products, apps, and educate themselves on ecosystems while doing it safely and making informed decisions. And based on that, if people are able to do that on multiple chains, I don't necessarily have a number, through Tokyo, and significant amount of people. And I don't, and like I've said throughout this conversation, right? Not just swapping, not just on and off ramping, but lots of other stuff like insights and viewing and accessing some of the social and content creation stuff, and then also making informed and secure decisions using some of the upcoming AI integration that we have. That for us is the biggest win. To have users who, because at the moment, we have a lot of users on Cardano, we have some users on Bitcoin. We'll launch on another chain. We expect to get some users there. But we want to have a lot of users who are going through different blockchains without really feeling the need to go, I'm on this blockchain or I'm doing this. So that interoperability play, and having features that keep people hooked onto the app. So if we have like a 33% sticky rate, if in the next couple of years we have like a 50% sticky rate, I am pretty happy with what's going on there based on the metrics and the numbers.
Yeah. I think that's the goal too, right? Is to, and I think that's the approach and strategy to onboard the normies, is to take them to one wallet. And they're like, oh, this is doing well, let me get involved with this, and it's a rune, but they don't really know. They just see it's the part of, it's Bitcoin, something Bitcoin. Yeah, they could do that. Or something's hot on Cardano or the next chain and the next chain. So I think the approach is perfect. I think it's where we're heading, and love what Tokyo's doing. Excited for the future.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for obviously having me on, and pretty pumped to continue cooking this journey alongside you guys. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. We always love to give our guests kind of like a quick, like 30-45 seconds kind of final words to our audience and community. So love to give you the stage here.
Yeah, well, download some Tokyo. I'm not giving away any dog today, unfortunately.
Everybody's keeping their dog right now for sure.
Oh yeah, mate. I've never sold, so I'm doing okay with my dog bag. I'm pretty happy. I have DCA'd in, but yes, to wrap up go check out Tokyo. Stay tuned for our new announcements coming up over the next few weeks. Try the app, give us some feedback. A lot of the product development comes through the feedback of the community, and get ready for a very exciting rest of 2025 with Tokyo.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, go download this wallet. At least, if you have your favorite wallet, at least check this one out first, right? Don't pick your favorite until you checked out, my opinion, the best. But thank you, Chaz.
Appreciate it, Shaz. And don't worry, you're going to see this guy in the future and in the Tokyo team as we're going to put together a segment. But thank you so much, Shaz, and we will talk to you soon, sir.
See you guys.
Absolutely amazing, guys. Really appreciate Chaz and everything they're doing for the ecosystem here. I mean, they chose to pick Bitcoin next, right? There was Cardano first, Bitcoin's next, and there is another chain coming. Really excited about that. But the fact that they're building here in Bitcoin really opened my eyes to them, and really why I downloaded the wallet and really checking them out. If you're gonna build in Bitcoin, we need to support that.
Absolutely, and it makes sense for them to go to Bitcoin and be a part of the community here. They are multi-chain, and they want to be that one-stop shop. You heard it directly from Shaz, right? And so I think they're on the right path, and they have the right goals and strategies for that, and that's the future of wallets, right? So excited for that team. But guys, we thank you so much for tuning in. Without your support, we couldn't do this, and also without our partner support, we couldn't do this as well. So if you could check out our partners, we'd greatly appreciate it. SAS Terminal is our go-to place to swap for runes, guys. It's a aggregator DEX swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem, focused primarily on runes and now alkanes, right? Their dev team is amazing. You can head over to satsterminal.com to start swapping today. And then BetBTC is the place that we go to for predictions markets, right? And also they have a new blitz kind of 10-minute market where you can kind of take a little bit of a position on Bitcoin, BNB, and Solana as well. 10 minutes in and then 10 minutes out to see if you were correct, or maybe you missed it this time, but you can always do it again. Exciting stuff coming from them as well. You can head over to betbtc.win to check out what they got there. And then Emblem Vault is going to be your interoperability tooling across from Bitcoin to all the other chains, and they're going to start off with a couple layer twos like Merlin chain, and then Base, and then Abstract. Solana is going to be coming as well. They have their Agent Hustle AI tool that is focused on the Solana side right now, but eventually they're going to add the Bitcoin tech stack to that as well. So he can help you vault those ordinals and take them across the cryptoverse for you. Don't forget they have a runes that's coming in September. You can head over to emblem.vision to check that out. Artura Finance is the place. It's going to be the go-to place to trade synthetic Bitcoin runes, guys, and eventually possibly BRC20s and alkanes as well. And then the popular tokens outside the ecosystem, XRP, Tau, Ethereum. You can also participate in a passive income way by adding liquidity to their liquidity vaults, right? Head over to Artura.finance and you can dig into what they got there before they go to mainnet very soon. Fluid Tokens is the UTXO Wizard devs. If you're into staking on Bitcoin Layer 1, they were the first to introduce that. So if you have a collection, an ordinal collection, maybe you etched a rune, you have a little established community, you can head over to their Discord and ask them how to get a staking vault set up for your community. They also dropped the Aquarium platform, and it's more for the Cardano side, but you can earn Babel fees there, guys. So you can head over to fluidtokens.com, check out the Cardano side, check out the Bitcoin side, learn exactly what they have to offer, guys. And then Tokyo Wallet, we just went over these guys. It's the smart multi-chain wallet that is going to be an all-in one-stop shop, right? So first Cardano, then Bitcoin, and then next we can't say right now. They're going to announce that, but exciting stuff, guys. Go check out their wallet. You can download it at the Apple App Store if you have an iPhone, or if you have an Android at the Google Play Store. Give us some feedback. Let us know if there's a feature you want added there. But if you head over to Tokyo.io, you can learn more there. And then Merlin Chain, big things happening with Merlin Chain lately, guys. We told you it was a matter of time, uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI. They have their AI Wizard 0.03. That's going to kind of guide you through their ecosystem, right? And then also, if you want to help secure the chain, you can do so if you have Merlin Chain tokens, and you can stake those at merlinchain.io for 15% APR. They also got added to the Bitcoin DAO about a month ago. Big news coming up from these guys. Make sure you check out Merlin Monday next week because we expect a big one. And then don't forget about our integrated partners in Jungle, formerly Foxy, building a first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. We stream it every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal marketplace. Cheapest ordinals around will be at Ordinal Hive, and they have some amazing trader tools there as well. Thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job as always, man. If you guys have a few extra minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering a space, please send them our website. We really feel it can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, I highly recommend Nord. It's my personal favorite. I actually have 2 accounts now with Nord because I have so many damn devices in my house. I have every single device has a Nord app on there. I highly recommend you guys do the same. It's every Nord VPN account gets you up to 5, and it's like $3 a month. I think I paid $36 for the year. I locked that in for 2 years, set it, forget it, and now I always have a VPN. And then if you guys are going to Bitcoin Vegas next week, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But if you're going to get your tickets, get them through us, guys. Use our link here. It'll take you to the Bitcoin Magazine site, and you guys can get that discount if you pay in Bitcoin as well. And if you guys need merch for this event or any event, I think it's too late for this event, but for any event or just kind of lounge around at home, definitely check out OnChain Revolution. Some of the best stuff, guys. Hats, shirts, school bags, and much more. And if there's something you want us to add, let's say even if you're a founder, can you guys add my stuff here? We can definitely add pretty much anything. So let us know. We appreciate you guys checking out OnChain Revolution.io. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and arching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.